Fight fans, we are here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Toshiba Plaza. I go by the name of Bach.
And I'm Barack, the Boxing Bully.
And this is the DAZN Boxing Show presented by DraftKings for Canelo, Charlo, Barack. Same energy that we normally get at a Canelo weigh-in. We're seeing a big Canelo Charlo. We know that the official weigh-ins were earlier today. He looks like he's hydrated already.
Listen, good point. You know why? Because we're used to seeing him at 154 on that scale. So now seeing him so many pounds heavier, he looks hydrated. So imagine what he's going to look like tomorrow. I've been telling the world for years that Canelo's the smallest 154 pounder there is, except Brian Castano. There's the proof. Now you guys see that. So throw the size out the window. This is going to come down to pure skill.
And not to mention that this is the most ripped I've seen Canelo in a long time, and maybe it was because he was fighting at 175, maybe because he was training at Lake Tahoe. Be as it may, he looks like he has a chip on his shoulder. He looks a little more shredded than I've seen him in the last two showdowns. He has something to prove. For those that forgot, there was a time that the boxing world was saying that Canelo Alvarez was ducking both Charlo brothers. So I'm not sure if he's forgetting about that.
I don't know why the fans figure that right now is the time to tell us that they watch us. Appreciate it though, but this is how I feel. I feel like he changed things in his training camp for this reason. When you talk bad about him about, you know, his last fight with John Ryder, when you're saying that he lost a step, when you're saying that he's getting old, you're saying all these things, he says, okay, I'm gonna turn it up, but also injuries are gone. When injuries are gone, you could crank it back up.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
You go into a fight with more confidence because you're not worried about that hand. Look, Floyd dealt with that for years. Like when your hands are, when there's an issue with your hands, you don't go 100%. Right. Sometimes certain shots you hold back. But a Canelo that's loose with no injuries, that's somebody you need to be worried about. And also, his skill level is what I think that we're going to see a lot of. We know that Canelo with the head movement, the combination throwing, not one punch at a time, 2 and 3 punches at a time. He wants to prove to Canelo Charlo that his skill level is way above Canelo's.
Yeah, I mean, that particular Canelo is hard for anybody in the world to beat. Even that would have been a tougher fight for Mayweather. You know, but I want to know, okay, fine, we're here now. Somebody has to win. If Charlo wins, what the heck does that mean?
Look, boxing is a theater of the unexpected, and I've preached that for years. We have our favorites, right? But on any given Saturday, anything can happen. I think that would change up the whole division. Obviously, we'll have an undisputed champion that was at 154.
Would it really change 168 though? Because we spoke to him, Charlo that is, and he doesn't want to stay at 168.
Well, I mean,
he's saying an opportunity.
He's saying that now, but if he becomes undisputed at 168 and he feels good at that weight class, trust me, fighters, if they get a chance to eat a little bit more, they'll take advantage of that. If he feels good and strong on Saturday night, I guarantee you, I'm saying it here, that he would stay at 168
I say no.
and defend those titles against other former champions.
Yeah, he wants to eat, but then you're fighting beasts. You're fighting guys that's way bigger than you. I say no. I say
bigger than him. What do you mean way bigger than him? He is a big 168
pounder.
Benavidez.
First of all, his brother's bigger than him.
Okay.
Jamal, and
not by much.
Benavidez is bigger than him. So come on.
Either way, we're speaking about hypothetical, right? Now, what if Canelo wins? He's the favorite, right? And we see a dominant performance. Will we see Canelo say, okay, let me move back up to 175 and avenge my loss against Bivol? Are we going to see that?
I say no.
All right, well, we caught up with Canelo Alvarez recently, a couple of days ago, and he had a few things to say about Canelo Charlo and a few other things, so take a listen. Fans, you know why we're here in Vegas, man. It's no secret. This gentleman is one of our favorite people in this sport, Mr. Saul Canelo Alvarez. I feel like we've been here so many times on this big stage, so many times that it doesn't get old to you for some reason. You still seem as excited. Yesterday in the press conference, I noticed that the energy changed a little bit from the first press conferences, right, where everything was friendly and kind. But did you see something on a video where Canelo said something about your skill level?
No, you know, he always calling me out since for a long time, right? And his brother never believed in my skills. That's the truth, no? And just to hear him send me flowers and all that stuff, want to remember
You
him.
remember the other stuff.
No, keep
Hey,
your
I
flowers,
know
keep
what
your
you say
flowers.
before. Yeah.
Right.
So do you need that though? Do you need to be upset sometimes?
No, I'm fine because I know what he say.
Right.
He's chill. He's
Nice.
good, nice, and everything. But I know what he say, and that's I'm so motivated right now because I have nothing to prove to the people, but I have something to prove to him because he never believed in my skills, and now I have the opportunity to show him. So that motivates myself.
Got you. All right, so speaking about being motivated, you know, you've been doing this for a long time. In the gym, who motivates you the most? Besides your family and stuff like that, the fighters in the gym, who motivates you the most?
I love boxing.
That's
I
it?
love boxing, and
So
I
there's
love
no fighter in there that you say, oh.
No, I love boxing and I love these kind of fights, big fights. Like I'm involved in this big fight, and I know he never believed in my skill. That motivates myself.
Yeah.
I always have some motivation in my head.
You know, you always talk about challenges. You love challenges. You've already become undisputed at 168, right? That's already set in history. Is this the last time we will see you at 68? Are you going to do something else next, or do you still see more fights at 168?
I don't know. Right now I'm focused 100% in this fight, and then I'm gonna sit down with Hyman and my team and see what is next. But I don't know. Whatever is there, I'm in.
Right.
Yeah. You seem real happy. You know, you seem happy. Sometimes you're mad, sometimes you're happy during a fight. Who's a better golf player, you or Steph Curry?
Steph Curry.
Yeah?
He's fucking great. He's good.
But you slapped them up though.
Yeah.
When you-
I can do.
Who
that
started
better.
that? Who started that slap box?
Him.
He started that?
He
Really?
wanted to like.
Are you getting better
And you
in
had
both?
to- you had to show
Do you
him.
think you'll beat him one day?
No, I don't. I would
You
love
want
to beat him in golf because you know, beat Steph Curry in golf is something amazing because he's great. He started golfing when he was 7, 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So he's good.
He grew
he's
up with
really
money though.
good.
He grew up with money.
No. I don't say that.
He did. He did.
Don't put
You know,
words in my mouth.
it's a good.
You started late.
It's a
You
rich
started late.
sport. It's a
Yeah.
rich sport. You can't do that unless you got money.
Okay, I don't
Got
say
him.
anything. But look, that's not the. Maybe I start before.
Yes.
But I never. I say always. I like a boring, something.
How
like
many years you been playing?
that. 4 years.
So for 4 years,
And I'm good,
You're
to
good.
have 4 years playing. So.
Right.
You know, I want to shift gears. Dana White recently said that he's going to do fights on Mexican Independence Weekend. Doesn't matter who's fighting, whether it's you or anybody, every single Independence Day to
fine.
compete with boxing.
It's
How do you
fine.
feel
Let's
about that?
compete.
Oh, nice.
You're not worried?
No, I'm not worried about it. Let's compete. That's good.
Yeah.
Compete when you have competition is fine. And I love that kind of competition.
All right, Canelo, you made more money than everybody in the sport. You got the biggest deals. You outdid Floyd Mayweather and everybody. Is there anything that somebody can buy you to make you happy?
Nothing. I'm happy right now. I have everything I need. I have my family. I have these fights. I have my
Amen.
team, my people. I love good everything.
You know,
I have everything I need.
You know, as far as business, look, I got the drink, the VMC, and you're involved in businesses outside of boxing. Which business for you has been the most successful outside of boxing?
Every business
all-
I had.
Damn.
Yeah, because I do with discipline and love.
Right.
When you do the business with discipline and love, you always have successful. And when you love what you do, it's all about.
And you enjoy that? Like
I
the
enjoy a
business?
lot,
So,
yeah.
so after boxing, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I want to be a billionaire in business. So that's my goal in business.
You think Charlo, Jamel Charlo, is probably would be a tougher fight than Jamal Charlo, the big
I
one?
think he's better than his brother. That's what I
Yeah,
feel,
yeah, yeah.
right?
A lot of people feel that
maybe
way.
not, maybe not. I don't know, but I think he have better resume.
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 Yeah.
Right. I think he have better resume, but I will see Saturday.
What about like as far as 168 pounds? Even though he's never fought at 168, how do you rate him against all of the guys you've already fought at 168?
You know, he's a great fighter, and he had the high and the body to do that 68, 60. I think.
Do you think he's better than like the Caleb Plants of the world, the Billy Joe
I need
Saunders?
to see Saturday, you know, because you never. I can say no, I can say yes, but at the end you need to see in the fight if was better or not.
Well, good luck. Who's your favorite people to interview with?
Huh? You guys.
Oh, you're just saying that.
Thank you.
Typical calm Canelo fight. We've been talking to him during fight weeks for years now. He's getting a little wittier. His English is getting better. He's funnier. I mean, or maybe he's always been funny, but now he can be funny speaking English.
No. He was never, maybe funny when we would hang out.
Right.
But he was never funny in the press
public, in
conference like
interviews,
that. No
right.
way. He was never that comfortable to be funny speaking English. For him to say, I don't know what kind of animal I have to be the lion, but I'm that animal. That was hilarious.
Right, no doubt about that. Look, we even talked a little bit Steph Curry. You know he's a big golf fan.
Yes. He gave props to where props were deserved, and
Right.
he's better than me.
Right.
And a guy who's that competitive, admitting that somebody's better than him, you know. Is that your aunt? Was that your aunt?
It
right
wasn't
there?
my aunt.
I
These
don't
are
know.
crazed fans. They love the DAZN Boxing Show.
Absolutely. I think where's my wallet? Oh snap!
Let's talk a little bit about the weigh-in. Look, like I said, Canelo looked ripped up.
Yes.
Charlo looked hydrated, but the size difference, the size difference is what people are noticing.
Yeah.
Now maybe to the point that we've been making for so many years that Canelo is very small for 168, for even 160, he should be at 154. I can't emphasize that enough.
100%. But that's out the window now, because I look at it like this: if Canelo can't use an excuse, neither can Charlo. There's no excuses for any fans. We're just gonna lay it all on the line that night, and that's it. What I want to know. Go ahead. What were you
No,
gonna
I'm saying
say?
Canelo also is used to fighting bigger guys.
I knew you was gonna
because
say
he's
that.
been so small.
I knew you
so
was gonna say that.
Even though it
Ryder was
looks as-
smaller than him, he's looking at Ryder like, "Whoa, you're too small."
it looks a certain way, but when a guy, he said it himself, he told us many times that he's comfortable in that space, being
Yes.
a smaller guy.
Yes.
I mean, for God's sakes, he won a 68-pound crown against Callum Smith,
Yeah.
who is 6'3", almost 6'4", longer than him.
And he's fighting at 175 right now.
Right.
And he's fitting in naturally, getting knockouts, probably going to fight for a title. That just shows you the greatness of Canelo, and that's it. But you see the atmosphere here. The atmosphere is still electric. Usually, when the weigh-in is over, what happens? Everybody disperse immediately.
People here, some want to get some autographs from Canelo Alvarez. At times, he takes his time when he leaves the weigh-in to chat with the fans, take pictures with the fans, signs autographs. This is why the Mexican people and Canelo fans, period, come here to Vegas every Independence Day, Cinco de Mayo. They all supportive because he shows love back to the fans.
Right, 100%. I just want to know the mindset of the two. I was hearing rumors. I was hearing people say, "Oh, Jermell Charlo looks nervous." I think they're equating the new matureness as nervousness. What do you feel?
Probably. I mean, it's a little bit of both. Look, all fighters get nervous, right? This is a big stage for Jermell Charlo. And when I say nervous, I don't mean necessarily that he's scared of Canelo Alvarez, but
Right.
nervousness from the big event.
Yeah.
He's never been a part of a fight on this stage. This is pay-per-view. This is Canelo Alvarez. Check the weigh-in out. There are more people at this weigh-in than some boxing matches. So all of this is going to kick some nerves in. You're going to have butterflies. But I think after the weigh-in, that usually goes out the window. I think Jermell's going to be very prepared and ready for tomorrow's showdown.
I'm gonna tell you where the issue starts, because I saw it happen with Billy Joe Saunders. The issue starts with the walk-in. Canelo's walking.
Yes.
When you're already inside that ring and you gotta wait 7 to 10 minutes for your opponent to come. How do you eat? You just warmed up in the back. How do you stay warm here? You're pissed off.
Well, that's the price you got to pay for being the B-side. Look, Canelo's a superstar, right? He has been at the forefront of the sport since Floyd Mayweather exited the sport. There's no question about it. I know a lot of people are saying that, oh, this guy's a face of boxing. This guy's a superstar. Is it Gervonta Davis? Is it Ryan Garcia? Is it Bud Crawford? But you cannot deny this man. And every time you're in Vegas, he proves it to the world that he is top dog in the sport.
100%. He's an international star. And it's obviously people use the face of boxing thing just to sell tickets. I think everybody knows, because now that Canelo's with PBC, what are the same guys that were saying Gervonta Davis was the face of boxing? What are they saying now? Canelo, the face of boxing. They literally, same guys are saying that now.
And I'm expected for a lot of people to purchase this fight. Look, if you don't remember, I mentioned it earlier, a lot of people were saying that Canelo Alvarez was ducking both Charlo brothers. So that's in the back of his mind. I think that's why we're going to see a very aggressive Canelo Alvarez. But also, Jermell has a lot to prove too, Barack.
Right.
He wants to show the world that he belongs here.
All you got to do now is tune in. I know you're tired of hearing from us. We want to see the fight just as bad as you.
All right, we heard from Canelo Alvarez. This big mega showdown could not happen without Jermell Charlo. He was in a very calm, cerebral state when he chopped it up with us. Check it out. We're here in Las Vegas, MGM Grand,
with the undisputed, I'm still calling him that, junior
they ain't stripped him
middleweight
yet.
champion. They ain't stripped
They ain't
him yet.
stripped him yet. You
It's
still
the Jamel
Undisputed
Charlo.
champ.
No doubt, no doubt.
Look, man, I want to jump right into something I heard at the presser yesterday. So initially, the first presser in New York and in LA, there was good energy, good vibes, right? And yesterday, Canelo seems like he saw some footage or seen a video, you discrediting his skills. What is he talking about? Have you put something out there saying that you're not too fond of his skill?
Nah, other than me saying that I could beat him.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And when you at the top, people gonna say things like that, so it kind of really don't matter. But maybe he's talking about my brother or something. I mean, he got to obviously be getting us mixed up because if you really pay attention, I've always gave Canelo his credit. I've always said that he's one of the best fighters in the game, and still to this very day, I give him his respect that he deserves. But when we get in the ring, I got to, it's time to get it on and fight.
But just to add to that, you've always been that guy that when people see you at pressers or fights, lead ups, you be ice grilling, like you ain't too friendly, right? You're aggressive. But this press tour, you've been calm. Is this something that you're taming yourself, or you think you're growing to a different, more mature person?
Man, I really don't know, bro. Like, I just I'll sit back and I'm just like, you look at the old you sometimes and you don't know really want to be that person. Like, what was I tripping on? Like, sometimes you got to reassess yourself. And that's probably what it is. I reassessed myself for a while. I paid attention to the things that was important for me and was not, and I'm content. You know what I'm saying? And I'm having fun. But arguments and stuff with certain people just wasn't like, I don't care what somebody say. Like, when you focus a lot on somebody else's opinion and you take yourself out of that, and you look back and you're like, I look stupid. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like it was growth within me. I got a 2-year-old son, so I got a lot of patience with things now. And then, it just helps.
Yo, my man, I'm so proud of you, bro. I'm so proud of you. That's crazy. Came a long way. But when you look at Canelo, did you look at him and say, well, I'm bigger than this guy?
A few times, I know that 168 is not my natural weight. And I'm at 168, 169 right now.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm 68 right now. So
you're not gonna go crazy and gain a whole bunch of weight, are you?
I hope not. I hope not. But just I have scientists behind the scenes of my career. I'm not doing this for myself. I got doctors and stuff that's here now and involved in my training regimen. So I think that it'll be kind of crazy to blow up and make myself slower when an advantage of beating the Canelo is being faster.
Right. But truthfully speaking, as far as that, how do you feel sparring? Like, did your speed kind of come down a little bit from the weight?
Yeah, I felt like, sparring, it was an excuse to tell myself you're feeling slower.
Wow.
So I kind of fought that. I fought that urge, knowing that naturally I'm bigger than I'm usually.
Heavier, yeah.
And so it was a mental warfare with myself, being at 154 my whole career, and then coming back down, trying to go up to 168. And I felt like usually when I'm at 168, that's just my out of shape walk around weight. And so listening to the right people and watching myself get a little bit heavier than 168, it played a big effect on my mental.
Right.
And so I tried to do everything possible to try to keep the weight on, but as weight just kept depleting and dropping, it became frustrating, and I got comfortable with it. So,
yo, you've been headlining since like 2018. I remember the first one to Fox, you and your brother.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say is I'm praying that after this fight, you and your brother could squash things and go back to the loving relationship. Well, maybe y'all never had that, but gain a loving relationship that brothers need to have, especially twin brothers.
Yeah. I think it'd be a lot to do with the people that's around each other, and when you got someone like my brother who's, we're in this fighting world right now. And so maybe it might not be after this fight, it might not be this year, it might not be next year, it might just be when boxing is done with us. I have to grow to miss him a bit. Sometimes I don't miss my brother because of the turmoil that's so, involved, I want the best for him. I love him, and I expect him to bounce back from whatever he's going through and dealing with, or not. You know, just move on to the next chapter in his life if that's what it is. And as a twin, I accept him how he is, and that's it. You know, it's like not much more that I could say that I focus on when it comes down to that.
You know, I was saying, I'm sorry, but I was saying you headlined since 2018, but this obviously is bigger. You know what I mean? This is bigger. Have you felt that?
Well, yeah.
Like nerves.
Not every fight do I go to. I come to come sit down with you guys and see a bunch of media and and being a part of this. I haven't really been outside. I haven't seen the strip, and I heard there's banners everywhere, and I'm enjoying. I love banners.
You
though.
everywhere
I'm
right
the kind of guy that loves banners.
No, you on buildings right now.
Yeah, okay.
You everywhere right now.
Well, that's tight. I didn't know
That's
that.
crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, do you
crazy
think
right
is it affecting you in a good way or a bad way, meaning like jitters, nerves, or are you like ready for the moment?
Well, it's so different for me because,
Right.
like, once again, I come to Vegas to watch Canelo fight,
Right, yeah.
and this is a hangout joint, and
yeah.
now
Chill,
I'm the one
vibe.
that's in the ring. That's, my name got called, and I'm up next. So now it's about digging deeper into myself. But it's just, being at, and then not being depleted, and that sometimes put a lot of stress on the fighter, and I feel good right now.
Yeah,
So,
speaking of the weight, I was going to talk about that next. I know that you've never been at this weight, but there has to be a silver lining. Like now, I can eat a little bit more. You're not starving yourself, so to speak. Not that you ever starve yourself, but it's easier. Is it easy enough for you to say, you know what? I don't think I want to go back to 154. I've already become undisputed. I'm solidified in history. I'm gonna always be undisputed. Do I need to go back down there and defend those titles?
well, it probably may have crossed my mind
Right.
one or two times, but I believe that like 168 is not my weight category. You know what I'm saying? And
Even if you dominate and you win big, would you maybe reassess that?
no, I'm gonna just let with the off season and how I go through that allow me to make my decision on my weight. Because I don't gain a lot of weight in the off season.
Right.
I have to train. 2 weeks out of the gym, I have to get back in the gym, or I feel like something isn't right. And so when I get a chance to really settle down and relax, I might be able to, say, okay, let's do what we did in the last training camp, or I just got to miss it a little bit once again. Something you got to miss.
Right. Yo, so can you let us know a little bit of your ring entrance, or is it a secret?
Not really. I've been working with a good team, and man, I've been focused, bro, on this fight and what I want. So I kind of started messing with the ring entrance a little bit late. I'm coming out first, anyways, so I can't really take too much of the time. So it plays.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When Bud came out with Eminem, but when Canelo usually comes out, it take like 5-7 minutes.
Right. So
That's true.
and Canelo, right now he the man. He's a spoiled kid too as well. So he gonna get what he wants.
Last question before we get out of here. When we were on the Breakfast Club, you said, Ak, I want to give people the fight they want. I'm going to go back down to 154 and fight Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same way?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's something that I would love to do. And I hate what he did to my boy Earl. I don't gotta do it for him, but that play in the mindset of me
help a
as
little
well.
bit.
And then sometimes I like the calm fights like this, and I like when my buck talk crazy to me. So I'm down to prove a point.
Well, good luck on Saturday, man. It's a pleasure chopping it up with you, man. Look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you
For sure.
this Saturday.
Then you're gonna get that meal that y'all didn't have this fight.
Got you.
For sure.
Canelo and Charlo.
God bless.
All right, Barack, this new and improved, I guess, Jamel Charlo, who doesn't like the old Jamel Charlo. He wants to look more mature. He wants people to see his intelligence. And I'm not mad at this new Charlo.
No, I mean, I have respect for his honesty,
Right.
because he didn't have to say that. You know what I mean? And that was a beautiful thing. Like I said, I want him and his brother to work that out.
But is he toning it down on purpose?
See, that's the thing. I think he's being advised, because that's usually how we change our lives anyway, from a good word from somebody else,
Counsel.
a friend, Al Heyman, somebody. I think he's being advised, and now he's doing the right thing. But what I want to know is, how does he win? Because that's the biggest question.
That's a
of
great
the
question,
day
Barack.
anyway.
Look, we know that he has a size advantage. We know that he has a stiff
But-
jab.
But size advantage
against a guy who's used to fighting bigger guys, maybe isn't it's not suffice. But when I'm talking about, he knows how to use his size. He knows how to use the jab, and we all know that a jab can be effective against Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a size advantage, even though he's bigger, because he hasn't fought guys as big as Canelo has fought. You know what I mean? And Canelo is used to getting hit by bigger guys, so I really wouldn't call it a size advantage. If bigger guys like Kovalev couldn't push Canelo around, then nobody's really gonna push Canelo around.
But can he hurt Canelo? Does he have the power? Most people think no. Triple G couldn't hurt him. You mentioned Canelo Alvarez couldn't hurt him. Danny Jacobs, big puncher, couldn't hurt Canelo Alvarez.
The thing is, Canelo don't have to be hurt to be beaten.
No doubt about that. So maybe he doesn't have to hurt Canelo, but I guess his ways to victory would probably be using as much skills as possible, meaning using the ring, using combination punching. You're gonna have to move your head. You're gonna have to stick the jab out there. But look, Canelo is ready for all that. He says it throughout the lead up to the fight. I've seen every style there is. This is a different level of boxing, right? He's seen
absolutely right. He's absolutely right. And the thing is, what people keep saying is, you know, the style that gives Canelo trouble. That's old news, because Billy Joe Saunders has that style. So you got to stop saying that. Oh, and you got to stop saying that because that was 10 years ago. Right. Talking about Lara and all of that. I was literally there for that fight. This is a different Canelo. This is a different Canelo who knows how to get on in the inside.
You know, people are predicting that Canelo will win. In Vegas, he's the favorite guy, and I think it has a lot to do with him being on the stage so many times. Can Canelo and Charlo live up to the hype when the bright lights hit the stage? Right. We don't know that, but also the experience, and again, all the styles that he's been in there with. So
sounds like you're not going to give a prediction. Do we have to hear it from somebody else?
Maybe I can give him a prediction. Maybe before we leave, I don't know, I'm going to tease you guys a little bit, but we had our colleagues and our peers give their predictions on this fight. Check it out.
Canelo. Why? I think his experience and the opponents he's faced. You know, Canelo's one of the GOATs of this era. So I think you know, he's gonna show that on Saturday. But I'm rooting for Charlo. Truth be told.
This is gonna be a very competitive fight. Charlo, as we know, is just a little taller, a little bit bigger, and we're gonna wonder why he stayed at 154 for so long, because this is the weight where he should be. Now let's take in consideration the fact that he still hits like a hammer. So Canelo has to make sure that he doesn't engage in the one-on-one, and he's gonna be able to walk somebody like Charlo down. On the other hand, let's not forget, Canelo has faced anybody and everybody from 147 all the way to 175. So this is not new for him to fight a bigger, stronger guy. But this is definitely an undisputed against an undisputed. Everything is possible.
For Charlo to be successful in this fight, I believe he's got to use discipline. He's got to use his boxing skills. He's got a great lead hand. He does a lot of things really well that have troubled Canelo in the past. Canelo needs to be Canelo. There's a reason we have weight classes. Obviously, Jermel's moving up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. I think it's going to be a more exciting fight than people are giving credit to, but ultimately I think Canelo is going to be victorious, mostly in the second half of the fight.
Listen, I think we'd all love to see Canelo get a real challenge this weekend. I think that's exactly what we're going to get, is a real challenge. But in the end, push comes to shove, it's hard for me to pick against Canelo. But you know what? In this exact moment, I'm kind of feeling Charlo. I'm going to pick Charlo.
Canelo Alvarez's supreme experience and great counterpunching skill and power against a guy who's moving up 14 pounds in weight but might possibly benefit from it. Could be a faster, stronger athlete at 168 than he was at 154. A near pick'em fight. I'll go with Canelo by late TKO.
Canelo Alvarez, Jermel Charlo. I'm going to go with Canelo as my prediction, although I do expect a very interesting challenge. I would say keys are Charlo's got to, the lateral movement's going to be key. If he gets pinned up against the ropes, it's going to be a real big problem for him, but that left hook is dynamite. The other problem is he can't give away too many rounds like he did against Harrison in the second fight. He's got to really be active and making sure he's landing as much as possible, trading with Canelo a little bit actually, so yeah.
You got to favor Canelo Alvarez in this fight, just given his experience and his style. Like, look, the people that he's had trouble with have been quick, moved well, had lateral movement, and really controlled the distance against him. When you look at those fights that he lost against Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol, they both had those qualities. Now, does a Jermel Charlo have those qualities? No, it's tough to say. You see a situation where Canelo, little by little, is chipping away at Jermell Charlo and maybe forces a stoppage or gets a very close and competitive decision against Jermell Charlo here in Las Vegas.
Look, it's safe to say that Canelo's a heavy favorite in this fight. There's a reason why people are betting on him. Look, this is a stacked card, Barack. It's been a long time since we had this many good fights. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo headlining. A fight that I'm looking forward to very much so is Erickson Lubin versus Ramos. Barack, these are two young lions that need to prove something on Saturday night in order to move forward in that 154-pound division.
Yeah, I like this card, man. It's looking really good. I love this fight right here. Probably people are gonna lean towards Ramos. He's the bigger guy, he's fresh, undefeated, you know, and he seems to have enormous power. But think about this, who was also in that position a few years ago?
Erickson Lubin,
There
the
you
hammer.
go. He was in that same position and he got caught by somebody out of the blue, first round. So you never really know. And I can tell you one thing, you know, you always talk about chips, and I talk about chips a lot too. Erickson Lubin got a chip.
No doubt about it.
On his
Look, there's
shoulder.
another gentleman whom we both love, such a humble man, so much success in his career from what he's come from. And he has another opportunity after being injured in a tough fight that he was against Errol Spence. He's back in the ring against Barrios, and I'm talking about Ugas, the Cuban sensation. I mean,
I love
this guy, he has something to prove. We talked to one of his old trainers, and he said the guy doesn't even like to hurt people in the ring. He feels sorry when he hurts guys.
When he's training.
Right, when he's training and he hurts guys in sparring, he feels bad. Sometimes he even cries because he doesn't like. He's such a good
First
guy.
of all,
He
that
doesn't
wasn't
like.
supposed to be said.
Oh, was it?
That was private information.
All right, well,
Now
it's
the
out
world
there
knows.
now. The world knows that he's a nice guy, but guess what? You don't want no smoke with him inside that square circle, and he's going to have a lot to do. He's going to have a lot to prove against Barrios, who's coming up.
Very true. Very nice guy. Even when he lost to Sean Porter, he felt that he won. If you always look at how he speaks on social media, he's always respectful of Sean, no matter how bad that hurt his heart. Great guy, but his counterpart is just as good. They both talk about their people. That's who they do it for. It's an amazing thing, and that's Mario Barrios. Yes, he's moving up, but the guy's like my height.
Right. No
Seriously.
doubt. He's big.
He's about my
big.
height. He's big. He's a big boy.
So Ugas has his hands full. But look, everybody is here for the mega showdown. Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Barack.
Whatever he says, bet the opposite.
I think
he might be right this one time.
I think that it's going to be a competitive fight for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and I think Jermell's going to have success. I think Canelo's going to have a strategy of hitting everywhere, on the arms, on the hips, to the ribs, and he's going to throw combinations, not one punch power shots. We've seen Canelo do that in some fights. I think we're going to get Canelo throwing 2 and 3 punches at a time, and it's going to be too much late in the fight, and I think Canelo is victorious. But this fight can go either way. You don't want to miss this. It's available on DAZN as a subscriber in the UK and in Ireland. If not, you're going to have to pay for the pay-per-view here in America. Barack, I'm ready.
That's a good prediction. That's a good prediction if Canelo is 100%.
Okay.
If he doesn't have the injuries like he's saying that, and usually he tells the truth. So if he's saying that, we're going to see a real tremendous performance. You know, but I do feel like they both have blueprints on being beaten. And even with the Castano draw, that's something that Canelo could look at of keys to victory. And because Charlo is taller, maybe he can stay away. Maybe he can control the distance like Bivol did. So like you're saying, it can go either way, and he has a chance.
All right, well, I got to hit the pool. I got my swimming trunks ready. The
Under
Mai
his
Tai's
pants.
by the pool. I'm going straight there. You guys don't want to miss this showdown. This is the preview show for Canelo Charlo presented by DraftKings. All the recap from everything that's going on this weekend will be on all the DAZN platforms, YouTube, on the platform, on social media. You know, Ak and Barack got to cover everything. So
100%.
keep it locked on DAZN.